finding creators on Instagram and TikTok, what are the differences between that and finding creators on YouTube? Like, what are the metrics you look at? You also mentioned like some creators on YouTube tend to be more like mission aligned and they really care as opposed to other platforms. How do you, obviously brands love that. How do you find those sorts of creators? Any respect, do you look at engagement rate, views? What metrics do you look for? How do you assess quality? Give us everything you have about YouTube discovery, and then we'll dive into offer and then tracking. So let's start with discovery first.
Okay, so in discovery, one of the most important metrics that I get people to look at is the views to subscriber ratio. So I am probably an outlier that I do think that follow account and subscriber count is an important metric that you want to look at,
Mm-hmm.
because what it does is it signals social proof to people. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the only one that you should look at, but especially if you're trying to market like a cool product or something in tech, or like a gadget of some kind. If you've got an influencer, and remember, people who watch YouTube and people who are sitting there in the audience aren't experts in terms of influence marketing. They're like, wow, 100,000 subscribers, that's loads, amazing, like well done to them.
Mm-hmm.
What they have to say about this gadget must be good, right? And as much as, we say people shouldn't think like that, they definitely do. But views to subscribers shows that they've been able to not just capture that audience, but also retain the audience as
Mm-hmm.
well, and do that on a consistent basis. Because as with all platforms, the algorithm, everybody is at the mercy at it, and sometimes views will go up and down. But especially as you're looking at, okay, like what's their view to subscriber ratio? Because what I want to do is get someone that in this partnership that we're going to do, and 3 to 5 is a starting point. You actually want to get your good influencers that are just constantly generating links and have long-term associations with you. Is really thinking about, okay, like, well, if they've retained that audience, that's a good piece as well. The second part I would have is look at engagement rate. Now we can't do sentiment analysis, but do you have, did I hear along the grapevine you have like super fans or something like that, and you can identify?
Yeah, we call
Yeah,
it diehard fans in Saral. Yes.
yeah. So honestly, I think that is an amazing feature that I'm fully jealous of, and like I'll just shout like that is really cool.
For sure.
But you want to have like a good engagement rate to say that, because those comments, like, I don't think you should only go on that, because sometimes the comments can be quite like vicious. And the
Yeah.
fun thing to do on the platform is look at the highest engagement rates, because it's always like some sort of mad YouTube story that's gone on, and or somebody stolen a channel or something like that, and it's a bit hectic. So not those ones, but you want some kind of engagement to say that people are commenting it, people are asking questions, they're
Yeah.
interested in what you've got. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got that views to subscriber ratio to make sure they've got an audience. You want people to make sure that they're engaging with it, and all the niches and all the like benchmarks are different across them.
Mm-hmm.
So in our tool, what we kind of basically say to people to do is set all your standard things, like you want to have like this many views, this niche, this country, this language, etc. That's all by the by. But then start to layer in those other filters and just see, like, if you've got 100 influencers that meet your criteria, and then you put in this subscriber view to subscriber ratio, like how many does that cut off? Like go for the top 10, 20 within that out of 100. And then
Mm-hmm.
a similar thing with your engagement rates as well, like who are getting like a high amount of engagement, and then have a look in the comments as to why that is, or like look who the super, who has a super fans and who's willing to like be raved and shout about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's where we always encourage people to start and look at with their campaigns, because there are other filters and they'll have different things that are important to different people. But I think if you've got an engaged audience and one that's consistently watching, that's
Mm-hmm.
great, because social proof of having like 85,000 subscribers is awesome. That's great, but it looks really bad if you then only get 5 to 10,000 views per
Mm-hmm.
video. 'Cause people are like,
Mm-hmm.
just people don't know what it is, but something doesn't sit
Yeah.
right within. They're like, okay, probably
Yeah.
shouldn't for that person.
Yeah.
Um, the other question that you asked about how we should treat it is that most YouTubers that are successful, so people are aware, they'll have the title in mind first of all, and they'll have
Mm-hmm.
a thumbnail that's ready for that, and then they'll design the video. So they don't do that at the end. They're
Mm.
always thinking about how can I package this so that it will get the most attention, and thinking about putting all of that package together before then doing the video. And
Mm.
that's because they want to get as many views as possible, and they'll have done research, or you might have done research as a brand on what are the search terms people are looking for, what are people interested, and what sort of thumbnails have done well that have been good that people have gone on and clicked through to go and watch the video.
Mm.
And so when you're working with somebody on that, going back to what we were talking about at the start, like think about how you're going to be found by other people.
Mm.
So one of them, like a new one, ChatGPT and other LLMs are showing YouTube videos as answers in the questions.
Yeah.
So you want to start thinking about, I know it sounds crazy, but giving ChatGPT information about your brand, however you can, make sure your pages are crawlable, that it's getting that information, that you put it in there somehow for its algorithm. That's one. Another one is when you type in, how do I do X, Y, and Z? Your product might solve that problem. You might be X, Y, and Z, which is awesome. But they might not do that in YouTube. What they
Mm.
might do is just type it into Google, and then essentially, like, Google gives the AI summary, but also just below that, quite often it gives the videos and that
Mm.
really helpful point in the video that your product might then solve. So if you can do those things and start to think about that, and then when it comes back around, like, this will be where the creator comes in.
Mm.
You don't want to tell them exactly what the title and the thumbnail should be, but they should be able to walk you through some sort of
Mm.
research process as to
Yeah.
why the title and thumbnail should match and why they should get views. Because the other ways people will search in YouTube, and think about your own experience of it. You look at the thumbnail, you look at the title, and have a go, which one,
Mm.
which one, which one? Like
Mm.
picking up a book in the store
Yeah.
is, you need someone to go and click through with that. And then the other side of it, and I'll just bring up a random piece here as
Yeah.
well, is it also might appear on this right hand side here. There's all of these different videos
Yeah.
that I might personally be interested in, but I can
Mm.
tell you, like, I'm interested in this one. Wow, how did someone go from $300 to 300 million? That's
Mm.
really interesting. I think the Diary of the CEO of it, like it or lump it, they're probably
Mm.
like the gold standard for how you get people to click and how you package things up. But this one,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's got 3.7 million views, but it doesn't, it doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me. This
Yeah.
certainly doesn't. I have no idea why this one's there, but you can see that, like, AI protected, super boring, 101 views, but maybe it's something to do with what I've searched
Yeah.
recently. So you're trying to think of all the different
Yep.
places that people can find you. And lastly, it'll be how you push people to that video. Like, is there a way that you can help, like, push that, amplify that?
Yep.
And you might do that through ads and pushing their content as well.
Yep.
But so yeah, there's a different way to thinking about it, because there's so many ways you can be found through
Yeah.
YouTube.